Okay. Okay. Making sure that everything's good and gravy. Making sure we're coming through. I need to see video. Need to see video. There we go. Alright. So here's how we're going to do this, VOD viewers. I am creating a brand new Sonic Adventure 2 battle for GameCube on emulator. Play file. I'm going to be raising Chaos. Starting from the beginning, I'm going to develop a whole Chao empire on live stream over the course of 10,000 hours of different live streams of Chao Garden play. So as I go and get this share link so I can promote this stream as it's actually happening while I talk to people who are not watching the stream while it's happening because there's no one here yet because I haven't advertised the stream yet, but there's people watching the VOD who are hearing this like it's a podcast because I'm presenting it that way, not like it's a live stream. So it's a very weird and confusing experience for them. They're like, should I be skipping ahead? Should I be listening? I don't really understand. Well, don't worry, because it'll all make sense after I make this tweet. When I stop being distracted by what's happening on Twitter, because there's a video of Martin Cabello III, who's a interesting person to follow on Twitter, because he tends to open his videos by doing something like stabbing a giant syringe into his neck, like, you know, comedic effect, not actually, but he always does some kind of shocking opener to the videos, and then says a bunch of just completely insane shit that you're like, what in the fuck am I hearing? It's an experience. Definitely an experience. Okay. Come watch me stream Chao Garden. Alright. Tweet that shit. Send now. Alright. We've got people here. People have started to arrive. Welcome to my place where I talk to the VOD listeners who are now suddenly realizing, oh yeah, this is a live stream that I'm listening to, and not a weird podcast like it was for the first 2 minutes. Hello, Lux and Xanador. The first stream I catch, and I get here when it's completely empty. That's what happens when it's completely unannounced at 11 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday of all days. Yeah, this is probably going to be a little bit of a quieter stream. Oh hell yes, this is the game of my childhood, says thanks for the crab apples. Me too. And I won't be offering any opinions on any shows without super chat dollars behind them. Because I also have things to do on this stream, like raise chows. And so you have to truly make it worth my while to distract me from the virtuous act of taking care of my little virtual children, who I have yet to meet or even hatch, as we are only just starting this game. Let me know how the audio is, by the way, because I know this game is loud as fuck, and so I don't know if it's, like, if I'm competing with it too strong. I'm going to turn it down a little bit, because I suspect it's going to be a problem. But, yeah, let me know. Let me know what you think of the audio. Because I also don't want to not be playing the music from this incredible game. You know, like, just listen to this. Long as the voice inside drives me to run and fight, it doesn't matter who is wrong and who is right. I was just listening to the vocal on version of this song as it played on the demo screen. Audio seems okay so far. Sounds great. Cool. SA2, boy! Yeah, the Chao Garden is fantastic. The SA2 side game is okay too. I agree. Unfortunately, I have to play a little bit of that side game. Oh no, my controls are not working. Oh wait, I have to click on the screen. Ha 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 ha. Rolling around at the speed of sound. I got places to... How do I... Isn't there a way to speed up? Like, can't you, like, crouch or something to speed up? This has been a very long time since I've played this. Must keep on moving ahead. I think I'm just thinking of the ability to, like, jump off of ramps, and that will speed me up. And collecting rings. Yeah, let's try this. Booyah! Yeah, I got the moves. Trust me and we will escape from the city. I'll make it through. Follow me. Set me free. Trust me and we will escape from the city. I'll make it through. Prove it to you. Follow me. Alright, I feel zoned in. Hey, I got $2 from Bird Stork. What's the best Chao? Probably the Chaos Chao. That's pretty much the ultimate Chao. And it will be a goal of ours. We will not be able to make that goal within even a few streams. It's pretty difficult. It takes a lot of time to raise these here Chaos. It's basically a real-time breeding minigame that requires you to play this actual Sonic game in order to collect stuff that you could give to your Chaos to power them up. And a lot of the time that will consist of basically just like doing the first couple levels over and over again. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm not sure if I have to like find something in this level that unlocks the Chao Garden, or if it's just like unlocked after I've beaten this level. I can't remember. I also can't remember if there's a way to spin dash. Follow me. That seemed like a roll of some kind. Let me up, goddammit. Remind me how to play this game, please. Can stick around, have to keep moving on. Yeah, this thing looks like it should lead to Chao World. Yes. Yes, I got the key. I got the key. I knew something like that would be around here. This is such a, like, vivid nostalgia game for me where, like, I'm not even, like, even though it's been a really long time. It's been since the first Digibros, actually, because the very first one we did was Sonic Adventure 2, so that was 2014. So I haven't played this game since 2014, but I've played it so fucking much as a kid that it feels intimately familiar. Aside from the controls, like, it's a little bit like, okay, I don't remember how to do all the stuff, but I remember the layout of the level perfectly, and obviously the music. Around every turn, trust your feelings, got to live and learn. I'll make it through, and no other options, only one thing to do. Crouch when going downhill on rails to go faster. I did know that. I did remember that. But we're really not even here to play Sonic particularly well. I mean, eventually I'll probably learn this stage pretty goddamn well, because this is the main place that you want to go to pick up stuff for your Chao. Other than, actually, there's like an Eggman stage and a Tails stage, both of which are like very easy places to grind for like animals and Chao power-ups and stuff like that. So it'll probably be those stages more so than this one. I mostly had to come here just to get the key to the Chao Garden. Yeah. Go. Go to. Chao be looking submissive and breedable? No. What are you talking about? Stop. Is SA2 one of the ones people still actually like, or is it just the one that has the Chao Garden in it? Both, but it depends on who you ask. I mean, I think this game it's extremely memorable. It has a lot of really good traits. I would say overall, it's like a 6 out of 10 game experience, but for something to have like played and grown up with as a kid, it had a lot of impact on me just because it was like, it's you know, a childish appealing game, but it has like kind of a serious dark story. And so you know, it was emotionally affecting. I will probably update the thumbnail pretty soon to be whatever this Chao is, or Sonic holding this egg, maybe Sonic holding the Chao once it's born. But yeah, this, oh, we got 2 of them. All right, put. So expect to hear a lot of this music. This is the boundary of our world. We can't climb this thing all the way. Not quite. Can't quite get up here. You can't move the camera either, which is deeply frustrating. Like it's unnerving. It feels wrong. Like when I hit the left stick and nothing happens, I'm just like, like it just makes me want to vomit. So that's gonna be the hardest thing to get used to, is not having camera control. Don't abuse the Chao. I do not intend to. I will pick and I put. In fact, let's put them in some aesthetically pleasing locations. Why not? Let's nest these little eggs. Okay. I don't know how long it takes for them to hatch, if it would happen faster if I leave and come back. Let's see what's in this cave. We got Chao Race and Chao Karate, but I don't have any Chows with which to do those yet, so we'll investigate that some other time. Can I move the camera with L and R? Oh, I can! Oh, okay, it's the bumpers. Not the bumpers, I mean the triggers, rather. On the way I have it set up. Thank you, you just saved my whole entire stuff. you made life livable again. Wow, that egg ended up all the way up there. Yeah, so I guess every time I leave and come back, they're probably just gonna change positions, so I won't bother trying to hatch them in beautiful locations. Let's go see the other. It's saving my data. Whoa. Whoa. There's so much information on the screen. Oh, I didn't expect the second I left. Hey, there's a Phantasy Star Online ad in the background. That's fucking awesome. Phantasy Star Online is my favorite game from childhood. Between this game and Phantasy Star Online is pretty much the bulk of the years 2001 to 2003 or 4 for me and my brothers. Pretty much the peak era of all three of us being at an age of wanting to share the GameCube, you know? Like, so there was lots and lots and lots of Chao raising and Phantasy Star Online. Random, but Parasite Eve is a game I think you'd really appreciate, both mechanically and lore-wise. It plays like a hybridization of Resident Evil and Final Fantasy. I have been interested in that game, actually, since childhood, because one of my friends who had a PlayStation as a kid, who was a big-time horror nut, had that game, and I had seen some of it, and it was, like, totally incomprehensible to me at the time. Like, I didn't understand how it was played. But it was also, like, the most graphically impressive thing I'd ever seen at the time, because I had not been exposed to the PlayStation, really. I had an N64, and, you know, I was just like, what the hell is this game? And then, yeah, I've seen the Happy Video Game Nerd video on it, or I guess he's Stop Skeletons from Fighting video from way, 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 way back on the Parasite Eve games. And it definitely gave me the impression it would be something I'd enjoy. And they're also not that long, as I understand it, for RPGs. So, you know, it might be worth checking out for me. I'm always nervous with games that, like, already have other videos about them, because I don't know if I'll have something unique to say, or, like, you know, or if I'll just end up feeling exactly the same way as the video that got me to play the game in the first place, you know? So picking up an egg and rocking it makes them hatch faster. Yeah, I should have remembered that. I forgot you could rock them. I had a strategy guide, so I knew a lot of stuff. The strategy guide had a lot of information about the Chao Garden, but it wasn't complete. It didn't even know, I think, about Chaos Chows. There was all kinds of secret stuff that, like, I only found out about from the internet later, and I felt very robbed, because I hadn't, you know, I just didn't know my way around the internet well enough. Like, at the time, we were peak into the Chao Garden to find that kind of information, I guess. But, like, you know, initially it was just whatever the Sonic Adventure 2 Prima guide told us. I don't know why I was watching that whole cutscene. I just didn't even think to try to skip it. When can I go back to Chao Garden? Can I just leave story mode and go back? Oh shit. Never mind. I need to hear this song. They want to deal with my emeralds. They playing with the wrong guy. This dude sounds like Ghostface Killer singing about being Knuckles. It's incredible. What's happening, y'all? How's everybody feeling today? I'm out here to raise some chows and hopefully collect some dough. Because I don't like having not money. I like having money. So I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to run up them schemes and all that. And that's what live streaming be like. Is like, yo, running up them schemes. I hope I don't have to like beat all of hero mode or anything in a row. Let's see what happens if I just exit. Yeah, Rouge, she's sexy and smooth. Alright. So, yes, now we have stage select. Now we can go straight to Chao World. Perfect. I can only play as Sonic, though, because he's the only character I've actually played with. So I will end up having to play more of this game than I might have hoped. But that's okay. The levels are very short. Anonymous says I'm feeling okay, solid 4 out of 10. That's not the best score. I hope if this stream can help raise your score of your feelings today. You know, I feel pretty good because I'm playing Sonic Adventure 2. And it's pretty goddamn adorable. It's pretty delightful. I have been kind of like zoned into it in a way. Like normally when I do these live streams, I tend to forget that there's a video game I'm playing pretty quickly and to focus only on reading the chat. But I've been kind of like mesmerized of like, it's Sonic. It's Sonic. Okay, so I'm gonna have to earn rings to unlock all these seeds that will plant trees that will allow fruits to grow. Do I have something to sell? No, I don't. Okay. This was so fucking adorable. It's literally the black market inside of a kindergarten run by a Chao. I'm like, I forgot this was a thing, so I'm kind of mesmerized. Okay, and most of this is not going to be useful to me until my chats actually hatch. I just wanted to check this place out. It was funny to see you get so belligerent that Riley was going to make you a millionaire with ICP SoundCloud rap. I don't remember ever being belligerent about that. That's a strange thing to say. I have never implied I was ever going to make money off of music. Anybody who thinks that they will do that is crazy. You know, not even to say that I don't think I'll make money off of music or that I'm not crazy, just that, you know, why would you ever say such a thing openly? There's so many eclectic things in SA1 that I love so much. This is SA2, though. Have I seen the Hazel video on Sonic Adventure 2? I don't think so. Maybe? That seems like something I would have watched, so probably. I just don't remember. Play the City Escape over and over again to get more again. I will do that. I need as much advice on this, on everything I'm going to be doing here as possible. I suspect there will be people in the chat who know a lot more about raising... Oh. Hello. He's not worrying. Buddy is not worried. Oh, that's right, you can name them. Alright. You're coming with me. We're gonna go give you a name. How do I pick him up? There we go. Look at you. Hey, he changed color. I just got $20 from Audrey Rogers. No rant request, so thank you very much. Do itashimashite, as I've been trying to say now to everybody who super chats, because I've been doing the Duolingos and trying to learn my goddamn Japanese for the first time ever. Welcome to the kindergarten. I'm the kindergarten principal. Learn tips to raise your Chao from Professor Chao. Oh, I don't want tips. I want to name. I think you have to go to the fortune teller. Yeah, that's right. And then she's gonna, like, try to propose a name. This child's lucky name is summoning the powers to be Presto! Roxy? I like, that's pretty good, actually. Chat, tell me if you think Roxy is a good name for this Chao, or if you think I need to deny this and name it something else. Don o Libaji? I don't know what you are saying with that with the Japanese phrase there, unfortunately. I can read it, but I don't know what it means. It just looks syntactically weird, actually. Someone drop a freestyle over Don't Worry Buddy. I will absolutely do that. As soon as I get back to the Chao Garden, I'm giving it a shot. Alright, everybody likes Roxy. It's literally the Mushoku Tensei girl, so it's, yeah, it seems awfully serendipitous considering how many Mushoku Tensei videos I just did. Even though I talked about Roxy very little in those, aside from the part where she meets her mom, because that was a... Hey, here's the thumbnail guy for this stream. Alright, tell me about my Chao. He's very healthy. Okay, that's good. He's, well, she? I don't know. I don't have to gender this Chao. Do they even have... Doesn't look like they have ascribed genders. Carefree, like square fruit. Very healthy. Yeah. Pretty good swim, run, and power, I guess. So we'll zero in on that. Oh wait, this guy's just the guy who tells me about stuff. He doesn't do anything. Alright, let's get you learned. The Chao Kindergarten is my favorite. I used to just sit on the screen and listen to the Chao sing because they're fucking adorable. Kira Lu with $2 has a little cutesy little sticker guy with the peace sign going, hey! I like that. Doi tashimashite is you're welcome, right? Yeah. It's basically what you say after someone... You know, if you just made a sale, then you would say "Doi tashimashite" as like the person's leaving the store. So, yeah. It's just what it just seems appropriate. Oh no, my baby's gone. I left it in kid prison. What have I done? I'm a terrible person. Actually, the kindergarten's fine in this world. I implicitly trust a kindergarten that has a black market that advertises itself openly in the middle of the school. That seems legit. So, yeah. Chao are gender fluid. You can assign gender, whatever gender you want. Hey, it's our other kid. Oh, he's got a big smiley face. That's adorable. Let's give him a cheetah. Now he's got cheetah arms. Let's give him a fruit. See how he feels about it. Seems to be improving his stamina. Hey, you not hungry no more? Maybe you don't like round fruit. Let's go find out more about you two, why don't we? As soon as I figure out how to make it say pick up instead of... Is there a way to cycle through the... Yeah, okay. You can whistle as well. Hi. Let's go. Orpheus with Canadian 279. Thoughts on Zero no Tsukaima, my fave anime. I actually like it quite a bit, and I remember when it came out, in my part of the anime like blogging sphere, hey, another €10 without a rant request from Master Plus Margarita. Doi Tashimashite. And also Doi Tashimashite too. Orpheus, back when it first came out, it was definitely looked at as like, you know, generic and the taste makers, if you will, of the anime community kind of looked down on it at the time. But mostly because of the fact that there were so many Rie Kugimiya tsundere roles back to back, where it was like we had Shakugan no Shana, we had Zero no Tsukaima, and then we had Toradora. And I think that because Toradora was like, you know, this open and shut romance that was like satisfying where the characters get together and everything, that was the one that like ended up being the most beloved with Western audiences. And because Zero no Tsukaima, like, it does the same thing kind of that a lot of these shows do now, where the characters are a couple like by the end of season 1, but they're not, you know, they're still struggling as a couple, and so it's like an on and off thing. And like, I think some people get really frustrated with that because they don't actually internalize it as these two are a couple. They're just struggling. You know, I look at it that way so I can appreciate it. I think there's people who look at it like, oh, I just wish they'd get together already. And I'm like, no, they are together. They're just bad at being together, you know? So that's the point. So, like, I think it works on that level. I enjoyed the first season. I never finished season 2, so I haven't actually gotten that far into Zero no Tsukaima to like learn more about the bigger world building and get really deep into, you know, all Louise's family drama and all that stuff. It definitely had that feeling for me of like, Rover? No. Yeah, I'll give you another try. Tango? Yeah, I'm alright with Tango. That's fun. Alright. But yeah, like, I think that Louise and, oh my god, I can't remember the main character's name. I'm sure it's, like, Sato or something like that. You know, I think they're charming characters. I think some of the side characters start to come into their own as the show continues, and it, like, kind of reveals that it's not as much of a harem as it first seems. Like, there's all this sexual teasing with the other characters, but again, I really do think that the main characters are a couple. They're just a bad couple, you know, surrounded by temptation. But, C, B, B, C, D, alright. Tango is fucking beast mode. Like square fruit as well. Okay. I could leave Tango in kindergarten. I might as well, right? Yeah. If I'm gonna have to leave and go do other stuff anyways, they might as well both be in here learning songs and stuff. Becoming cultured. I have another Canadian $5 super chat from I'm Your Deity. Doi Tashimashite. What do you remember from kindergarten? Did you make friends or enemies? I remember meeting twins for the first time. Some girl threw sand in my face. Yikes. Man, you're pulling me back. But I do remember little tiny glimpses of kindergarten. I actually went to a couple of different preschools even before kindergarten, or like basically daycares, because just my parents were both working and very busy, and I was generally a really smart kid. Like I grew up pretty much watching educational programs all the time. I forgot that all my childs are in school, so no things here. Yeah, so like I watched a lot of Sesame Street and Barney and all that stuff, so I already kind of knew how to write and read and say, like spell my name and that kind of stuff, which is most of what they were trying to teach you in preschool and kindergarten. So like I ended up feeling like I was kind of overclassed for it, but I was also very like, because I was born August 8th, I was the youngest kid in class most of the time. So it felt like I should be starting school now. Like, I started when I was 5. My mom had like asked if I wanted to stay, like wait another year, and I was like, well, no, because I already feel like I'm advanced from the experience I had, in preschool, and I kind of wish I hadn't done that. Like, it's funny that I was the one to make this decision, that was even given to me, and it's understandable what I was thinking, that I would be fast tracking myself. After reading the book Outliers and truly understanding how much of an advantage I would have had if I had started a year later and been the oldest kid in class and just absolutely fucking stomped my way through everything I did in school because I had that much more experience, yeah, that would have been a way better idea. I'm thinking, oh, I'll be fast tracking my education, but actually I'm just like I'm already ahead of this first year, so I'm kind of wasting my time being there. If I had been older, maybe they would have, just made me skip a grade anyways. I don't know. But, in any case, kindergarten was very much like, okay, I already know all this. And I struggled to make any connections with people because I was super nervous and shy. Throughout my childhood, I spent pretty much all my time with my mom. I never really had like left the house or like met lots of different people or anything like that, except for adults. Like I hadn't met a lot of people my own age. My parents knew lots of people, so I'd met lots of other adults. But like, they didn't really hang out with the kinds of people who had kids. So until they were a little bit older, so like. I mostly sort of was like just didn't really understand how to communicate with other people, and the early interactions I had, I think it was in kindergarten when, I've mentioned this in songs before, that a girl insisted that I must be a girl because I had long hair and looked like a girl, and like. When I look back on it, I think, yeah, of course I looked like a girl. Anybody would make this mistake. I understand where this kid was coming from, but at the time I did not. Because I was just, like, fundamentally, like, no, that doesn't make sense, Like, you can't... What does it mean to look like a girl? I'm a boy, like, biologically. That was my thought at the time, Eventually I decided that girl was more right from a social angle, and that I should have listened to her, because I would have been a lot happier if I had just been like, yeah, let's be friends, There's no reason she would have ever had to find out if I wasn't, by her own standards, a girl, but, it could have been friends. Instead, I was like, oh, girls want me to be one of them. That's weird. I don't like this. And that's the only interaction I really remember from kindergarten, like, is just that the girl who sat next to me, insisted that I must be a girl and that I never talked to her again. Like, so, yeah, I can't remember any interactions I had as a child that were not awkward, so, that could just be the way that I tended to fixate, because, maybe just experiencing something that felt like a mistake even in the moment is like something that causes reflection. I don't remember what the hell I was even... Oh, I guess I was trying to get 100 rings. Okay. Oh, there's a bunch of more super chats now. Robert Sora with $9.99 in euro. Doi tashimashite. I always wondered about your opinion on Deno Coil, one of my faves, kind of like Lane Tamers and Ghibli smashed together. Also, have you watched Orbital Children yet? I haven't watched Orbital Children yet. I loved Deno Coil when it aired. I haven't actually watched it since, like, the first time back in 2008, so I can't give you a very updated opinion, but, like, I remember making a post, and this was at a point where, like, when shows were, like, too good, I didn't feel like I could talk about them because I'm just, like, not good enough. Like, I can't write well enough to explain to you something that's so far above my head that I'm in awe of it. And so I made this post called, like, Perfection versus Brilliance, and I was talking about how there's certain shows that are not necessarily perfect, but are brilliant, and then there's shows that are just perfect. And Deno Coil was my example of a perfect show. Like, it just it sets up all of its ideas, it resolves everything, the plot makes sense, the characters and like, just the thematic resonance is there, the animation is fantastic, it has a super unique look and feel. Like, it's just a show that it's really hard to find a complaint with, you know? Alright, it's time to bring Roxy back. Roxy learned how to sing. Tango's also learning how to sing. But Tango can keep learning for now. Alright, Roxy. Let's go back. But yeah, damn, I forgot what I was just talking about. Deno Coil. The whole AR, VR, like, the way it handles that was way the hell ahead of its time. I think if that show came out today, it would have a very different reception. It's a show that deserves to be, like, brought back and remarketed and pushed because it's still hyper relevant. It hasn't aged at all. The character designs would be more acceptable to Westerners now who are more used to stuff that's not as anime-like. You know, like, I just can't imagine people not liking it if they saw it en masse. Like, I think that the unconventional art style would be the most off-putting thing, but, like, when you see it in motion, it looks so good, you know? And I also think the fact that it focuses on children might put some people off, like realistic children. Granted, it's like mostly the first episode where the main character's little sister is there and she's got her little virtual dog, and like, I remember at the time the show came out, there were people who were like, I can't watch this because I can't deal with this fucking kid, you know? And it's really only in the first episode that it, like, really is meant to be annoying, but, like, the point is that the kid's annoying. Like, it's a joke. I thought it was funny, so I don't know. It'll definitely be a hit or miss for different people on the very start of the show, but I can't imagine, like, watching the whole thing and being like, oh, that wasn't fucking brilliant, you know? There's especially a stretch of episodes in the mid, like, teens where they do all these, like, individual high concept episodes that are really fun. One of them involves beards going to war with each other. Anybody who's seen the show knows what I mean. So yeah, it's really good. I do need to see Orbital Children. I haven't watched it. I intend to because it's relatively short and, you know, it's on the list of relevant stuff. I figure that's a show that's it seems like it hasn't peaked in its growth. Like, I don't think a lot of people know about it, so maybe my video would help to make that actually a thing, depending on how I feel about it. Zartant dropped €5. Doi tashimashite. No rant request, so just thanks for the dough. Anonymous with $5. Doi tashimashite. Any thoughts on Elon buying Twitter? I can't see how it's gonna make a huge difference. I think everybody who likes the way that, like, everybody who likes the things about Twitter that I consider to be the problems with Twitter are going to hate that Elon bought Twitter because they think that those are the things that are going to go away. I have no idea what changes are going to be made, nor do I give a fuck, because like, best case scenario, Twitter is fucking ruined and no one uses it anymore, and culture can maybe have a shot again. Like, Twitter is terrible for humanity. I have made peace with Twitter. I have found a way to make Twitter good for me, where I try to only share the most, like, dumb, esoteric, weird thoughts that I have that couldn't possibly offend anybody, and retweet cool art, you know, and advertise my shit. And that's pretty much it. If you're doing anything else on Twitter that, you know, that people are known to do on Twitter, I have no defense for it. Like, it's just, you're ruining yourself, you're ruining your life, you're ruining the world, you're ruining culture. So, you know, if Twitter dies, fucking good riddance. But if Twitter is somehow made better, cool. You know, I sure do use a lot of it. I do have Twitter Blue. Put it on your head. You don't seem like you can get any more hero, Chao, so... So fucking cute. Yeah, you hungry? I know you don't really care for round fruit that much, but... Alright. That's all my thoughts on Elon buying Twitter, really. That just... You know, I couldn't possibly care less about what the fate of Twitter is. Zartant with €5. Doitashimashite. Hello, what is your opinion on Umineko ni Nakokoro ni, and do you plan to make content about it? I want to convince my friends to play it, but I fail. So, alright. I know I've talked about this before, but I'll go over it again, because, you know, you asked. So, Umineko, I have seen the anime. That is the only version of the story I've actually experienced. I watched it back in 2008 because my good friend Marcus had just seen the show and he loved it, and was a big Higurashi fan. I also had seen Higurashi and loved that, so that contributed to my, you know, desire to watch it. But you know, I ended up seeing it. I really enjoyed it. And I thought it was unfortunate that the anime adaptation got so much shit, because it never continued. Like, it seemed like fans of the visual novel just hated it, and I think that's really unfortunate and kind of short-sighted for them, because it's like, you already have the visual novel. You don't need the anime to be the visual novel. You need it to make people care about the story and get invested, which it did. So, like, you know, I think the anime contributed to the ability of the visual novel to become such a big deal worldwide that it has, like, a full English language release and everything, but the anime itself basically suffered and never got to continue. And, you know, I tried to read the original release of Umineko. First of all, I don't really read visual novels in general. They're very long-winded. I get exhausted by how much fucking dialogue there tends to be between the characters. And so, like, that combined with the fact that the original version has really bad art, and I was like, no, I don't think I could do this. Now, of course, it got re-released with much better art and better production values, voice acting and all that stuff. I think the original had voice acting, but, like, you know, it's a more complete package. Would I be more interested in that? Maybe, but again, it's a huge time commitment, and I know I'm going to hate the writing style. I'm very, very picky about the way things are written, and I really don't like reading overly long-winded, like, over-detailed writing that could have been trimmed down, which tends to come a lot from, you know, independent stuff, even that gets popular. So, I don't know, I guess I'm nervous about it, about the idea of reading the visual novel, and I've heard that the manga is also a very good adaptation that is more complete and tells a lot of the story, so I've been more tempted to read that. Still, though, it's a time commitment, and I don't read a lot of manga, frankly. I'm very much an anime fan. Like, I like manga, I'll even say I love manga, but I am not nearly as passionate about it as I am about animation and even video games and music. Like, those are the things I really care about. I'm interested in audio-visual media, basically. So stuff that's missing some element of the you know, of that is less appealing to me. But nonetheless, like, I'm very interested in where the story goes, because like the anime doesn't reveal anything about Beatrice the Golden Witch that ought to make her especially relevant to who I am as a person. It just so happens that when me and my friends watched Umineko, we were also making a band together. We started making music together, and I was like, what if we named it Trial of the Golden Witch? Because that was a name, out of all the episode titles, that one had just stuck out with me. I think it's literally the title of an episode, and maybe one of the arcs or books or something. But yeah, I just thought it was a really cool phrase, and I think it was just the first one that had caught my attention, and I was like, oh, Trial of the Golden Witch, that sounds sick. And so the idea was that each of us was supposed to be one of the characters, and at the time, I was actually supposed to be, what's his name, the Kinzo, the evil dad, you know, the patriarch of the family, if you will, and Marcus was supposed to be George, and Victor was Battler, and that was Trial of the Golden Witch, and it was supposed to be a gray metal band inspired by Agaloch. And then we recorded some goofy improv stuff instead, and that became what Trial of the Golden Witch was for a long while. And so, yeah, like, and we quickly dropped the you know, the gimmick of connecting it to Umineko or being named after it, because I was involving lots of other collaborators and not just Vic and Marcus in releasing the projects. But you know, when I was transitioning and trying to pick a name for myself that I, you know, felt a real connection with, I started to think of, you know, Trial of the Golden Witch as like, well, okay, I'm the Golden Witch who's been on trial in my music, because all of my music is putting myself on trial. You know, so that it just made sense to me to be like, okay, well, I'll be the Golden Witch. And then it turns out the Golden Witch, you know, spoilers for Umineko, is actually a trans character. And like, I found that out when I decided to use the Golden Witch name. And so I was like, okay, that makes it feel like somehow there was, like, somehow I had to have understood this subconsciously, you know, to have formed this connection for so long, you know, and I don't know why. And that's the kind of thing that is, I guess, another part of why I haven't felt the need to rush into Umineko is that it feels like so obvious that it will always be a thing I can do. Like, there's no need for me to do it now, and I could have an even better understanding of it later. You know, I guess it feels like something to build up to. It's such a big undertaking and so core to the identity of my character that, you know, I wouldn't want to rush into it. So, eventually, the world will hear my full thoughts on Umineko, whether that means I have to play through all the goddamn games, or, you know, read the whole manga, or both, or whatever. Alright. I think I'm going to try to unlock all the characters so I can play other people in the Chao Garden than just Sonic. Butthole Weeb says, for $5, Doi Tashimashite, rant about why we haven't done a stream reviewing any anime recently. Also on Bird not making anime reviews. Frankly, you know, Bird is very busy as a mountaineer. So, you know, he most of the anime Bird watches is stuff that he has to watch with me for the sake of making content about it. So we've been watching Eureka 7 all month for the sake of the next anime alphabet video. You know, like, he's watched, like, Spy Family with me and stuff. Like, anything I think he'll enjoy that I am going to watch for work, we give a shot together. But, yeah, mostly, we've just been on the nonstop work grind, you know? When Bird and I are both available to stream, we usually stream. If I have time by myself to stream, I usually stream. And if we watch anime, I try to review it, you know, in like a full video. So I guess basically there's just not enough shows that I have been watching absent of the context of, you know, explicitly making a scripted video about it. But you know, if there's a anime review podcast you specifically have in mind, pitch it. We'll set aside some time. We will probably come and see you to do some anime reviews this summer. So that I definitely want to finish K and fucking start up that Go Hands On series. Butthole Weeb with another $5. Doi Tashimashite. Here's more support to you. Also, give me a rant on Gosick stream and if it was good. Our Gosick stream. Yeah, we had a Gosick. It was really a podcast. I don't think we did that live. But yeah, we had a podcast. The only reason it's not listed anymore is that it was one of the podcasts made under my old identity that, you know, I would rather just like redo talking about the show than leave up that one. Like, I know that we can always get together and do another podcast. So, you know, that one was good, but the next one will be better. And also we'll watch the whole show instead of talking about half of it. So we didn't really have time to watch all of it last time, but we can definitely do that. Go Sick and K. Those are the two important shows that I have to watch with Butthole Weeb. Bobby with $5. Doi Tashimashite. A Trixie Chao stream. My dreams have come true. This is Kino. No rant. Just hope you're doing well. I am doing well. I've been having a pretty good month, aside from the fact that my videos keep getting blocked. That's the only thing that has sucked. And it just happened again. My Spy Family video got blocked again by Toho, again, for a different part of the video this time. And, like, I mean, at this point, I know, like, okay, I'm just gonna have to really start fucking with stuff again. Like, I'm really gonna have to, like... So, the issue I've been having that keeps getting my videos taken down is that my logic has been you can use up to 10 seconds of a clip and it won't get flagged. And that still remains true. However, the system has gotten much better at noticing if two 10-second clips are from the same scene. And so if I sort of just, you know, like what I used to do a lot of the time was like use 10 seconds, then skip 10 seconds, then use the next 10 seconds, and then maybe reinsert that previous 10 seconds I had skipped, you know, into the next section, so that I'm just kind of scrambling 30 seconds in a way that, you know, that would get past the censors. But that tends to be now what gets caught, is that, like, these scenes are all close enough and it kind of figures somehow that it's all one thing. So, yeah, like, that technique in specific is something I have to completely abandon with the editing going forward. It's just, like, you can't use two shots from the same scene back to back, even if it makes sense, without severely messing with them somehow, you know, like, because the first way that video had gotten claimed was for the very start of the video, which is a jumbled up version of the ending of the episode. It's like the last minute recut, and so, like, the I just, like, remembered what I'm actually supposed to be doing in this level is collecting emeralds. I couldn't remember how to dig earlier too. That was a problem I was having. I think the emerald that I'm supposed to be detecting is actually up here. But yeah, like, the scrambled version of the ending of the episode, I basically just put it all in reverse and zoomed in on it a little bit, and that got it past the censors. So, like, that's my biggest go-to right now for averting this whole thing is reversing the footage. That seems to be hard to detect. I guess they're not looking for reversed versions of the footage, so... But it looks jarring and weird, so I use it kind of sparingly. Like, you can see a lot of it in the Senpai Ga Uzai video. Like, at the start and in the middle, there's parts where, like, I just use the opening theme footage, but reversed. And it's kind of neat at the one part where I'm, like, talking, like, about my past. Like, I'm saying, like, oh, this is like back when I was a kid, and then, like, the footage is going backwards, and I like that effect there, but otherwise, yeah, it's mostly just it's probably inside of this. Oh no, it's actually sitting right next to him. Cool. Alright. Yeah, Roo, she's sexy and smooth. It really is pretty hilarious. I remember as a kid being shocked that the word sexy was in this game. Because I was like, whoa. But, you know, it was also in the word sex was in Pokemon 2000, the movie dub. Team Rocket said it. And I was like, Team Rocket said sex, but it's okay because they're the bad guys. Whoa, I saw red for a second. Didn't I? Is it moving? Is it in transit? Oh boy. Alright, let's get back to the chat. We've got another $2 from Butthole Weeb. Doi Tashimashite. Ghostic and K for sure next. Also, can I get it? Ooh woo. Ooh woo! Kira Lu with $5. Doi Tashimashite. Recently picked Duolingo back up too. For some phrase, it's really awkward how they want you to write the answers. Have you experienced that too? I have. I have experienced some awkwardness with like the diction or grammar. And also there's like whenever it has the name Honda Shigeru, it seems like the audio like misreads the name Shigeru, and so it's very confusing because it'll sound like they're not saying that, and then that's the answer it expects from you. So that's a little frustrating, but that's the biggest like glitch I've encountered. Part of why I fired up this live stream is I just got charged for my year of Duolingo family plan, not having realized it was going to charge me for the whole year at once. I thought it was a monthly thing, so I was like, why the hell did I just get a $120 fucking charge on my PayPal? And it was Duolingo, and I was like, oh, well, you know, I've been enjoying Duolingo. Rui says, I hated Duolingo for Japanese. So far for me, it has basically been exactly what I experienced in high school, but like blasting by at a rate that is more satisfying. So I've been enjoying it. We're gonna put the sheep horns on this Chao because that's gonna be adorable. Yes. But yeah, Duolingo, I've been trying to stay at the top, you know, of each league. I've made it up to the gold league, just like yesterday. But I haven't really done anything since reaching the gold league. So, you know, I gotta fight my way up. Kira Lu, $2 says Duolingo fund. Thank you very much. Yeah, it feels like it's helping for me, but then again, I am kind of inundated with Japanese all the time. Like I'm always watching anime, so it reinforces it, and you know, I pick up on more of what I'm hearing in the shows because I'm reading the stuff on the app all the time. And also in my everyday life, just like when I look at a vegetable, I think yasai, yasai. And so yesterday, while Bird was grilling, I just kept pointing at the vegetables he was grilling and going, yasai, yasai. Because that was one of the things I had messed up at first. Like, I got the app, I knew a lot of the early stuff, but I didn't remember vegetable or fruit. I couldn't remember what they were at first, and so I got really fixated on yasai and kudamono, which is fruit. Kudamono. This is the way that the app says it, if you can't tell. Yasai, kudamono. So it'll help me to be able to also speak in an extremely clear, robotic accent when I'm good at Japanese. I'll be telling people, you know, yasai o tabemasu. Yasai o tabemasu. No, yasai wa tabemasu? I'm sure I'm fucking up I'm sure it's not supposed to be ni. Wait, maybe it is. I don't know. I haven't learned that much yet. I'm on course 2, so, you know. But I've got a 16-day streak going. So, the best thing about Duolingo is that it's very good at making you use it a lot. Yes, that is the best thing about it. When it reminds me that I'm going to lose my streak at like 11 o'clock, I'm like, oh shit, you know, like I better not let that happen. It also notifies you if you're falling out of the promotion zone for the league, you know, for the competitive angle with other people. Uh, Even the skills that you've mastered, it eventually breaks them and forces you to re-practice them to make sure that you still know them. It, you know, I do a lot of the practice rounds of all the stuff I fucked up, and like just keep practicing the stuff I fucked up over and over again so that I don't fuck it up again. Yeah, it's for me, it's really excellent as a learning platform. Creator FGC with $20. Doi tashimashite. I know you have a huge breadth of experience with gaming. Can you speak on your experiences with fighting games and what I would have to do to get you to play Guilty Gear Strive with me? Hahaha, big fan. Hope you're doing well. If you bought me Guilty Gear Strive, I'd probably play it with you. I'd have to... don't do that immediately, though. Let me set aside a time. But, yeah, I love Guilty Gear. So, my history with fighting games... I played Mortal Kombat as a kid, but the games were much, much too hard for me and my brothers to be competent at, you know, playing single player. Eventually, I remember playing Deadly Alliance. That was probably the first fighting game I remember playing, like, a lot of, because it had so much, like, single player campaign mode and stuff, and, like, all the stuff you could unlock in the graveyard and shit like that. And I was definitely, like, I would have probably considered myself a Mortal Kombat fan as a kid, but more so because of the movies. Like, you know, that there was like a cool movie and a video game, but the movie is what made me care about the characters, whereas the games usually were pretty oblique about the story. Or opaque? No. Oblique. That seems right. Yeah, so, I think that was, like, it for my childhood. Like, I'm trying to remember any other fighting game. I remember playing, like, Clay Fighters. Oh, of course, Super Smash Bros. Yeah, I grew up with all the Smash games. Started on the N64, you know, played a ridiculous amount of Melee. You know, it's hard for me to think that I've played another game more in my life than Smash Melee. Other than maybe Phantasy Star Online, but that has, you know, been playable with fewer people in total. But yeah, I've played a ridiculous amount of Smash. And Project M and Brawl and Smash 4 and Ultimate. Not nearly as much of the later games, though. And then I got into Guilty Gear because... fuck, I don't remember, like, if someone recommended it to me or how the fuck I found out about it. But it was like Guilty Gear Pound Reload on the Xbox that I found for cheap, and I just thought it was the coolest shit in the whole world. I pretty much only played it with my brother Vic, but I really enjoyed it. So that, I guess the biggest thing for me with fighting games growing up is that, like, I didn't have a lot of people to play them with, and I wasn't surrounded by fighting game fans until high school, and then I was, and then I wasn't interested in most of the fighting games that they were into. In part because, like, there was a phase... So you know, if anybody who's been around for a super long time and remembers when I used to have my friend Brandon Tolentino in my content, he's a really, really, really amazing fighting game player, and he was just god tier at Street Fighter 4 playing, or 4 Ultimate playing Guy. He, you know, when Street Fighter 5 came out, it eventually consumed the lives of all my friends. It kind of drove me away from them in a way because I wasn't into it, and so it was really hard for me to, like, be a part of my friend culture when, like, it was mostly getting together to play Street Fighter 5. And, you know, there had been a period where it was all about Smash Melee, and Brandon was, like, god-tier NES player, but he couldn't find anybody who was good enough to, like, actually play against, like, to get pro-level good. Like, nobody lived close enough, and he just, like, you know, didn't have access to, like, the you know, the kind of practice that made people really champion tier at the game. So he was kind of, like, right underneath being good enough to be pro, but also playing, like, the lowest tier character. So that's a, you know, a big challenge if you can't practice against high tier characters. So, you know, I basically wanted like, I wanted my friends to get into professional level like competitive fighting games, and then I would want to take an interest in it. Like, if everybody was taking it seriously that way, then I wanted to be a part of it. But like, I didn't want to be a part of it as a hobby. And you know, obviously that's like the wrong approach to, but I had my own career I was more focused on, so I was just like not that into trying to get into fighting games hardcore. And I pretty much still feel the same way, that like, while fighting games are fun, like, getting into it makes me want to pursue it as a full-time thing. And if I'm not going to do that, then it feels like, well, what's the point? You know, like, why get good at this fighting game if I'm not going to take that somewhere? I don't know why I feel that way necessarily, but you know, it just kind of feels like, for me, fighting games are usually a thing that you just kind of throw on for an afternoon sometimes with your friends, and, you know, you play it until you're sick of it for like 2 hours. Oh, Soul Calibur 2. That is also one of the most important fighting games for me. That's one I've played a whole lot of on the GameCube. And, you know, I've played Soul Calibur 3, 4, 6, a decent amount as well. So yeah, I would probably say Soul Calibur is like my favorite fighting game to actually play, like the most easy for me to return to. Followed by Smash Melee. Followed by Guilty Gear, followed by Smash Melee, and also Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax, which I really wish had taken off, because I love that game. I love playing as Kirino, and like, that's like probably my favorite fighting game character to play is Kirino in fucking Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax, but I couldn't get anybody I knew into it, and it was locked to the PS3, which is, you know, heavily damning. And also, the like, a year after the original game, they released like the updated version, and that never came stateside, so it was just like, it was dead in the water, and that sucks, because I would have loved to get into that game. But yeah, out of the more modern fighting games and like the newer stuff coming out, I'm sure Guilty Gear probably would be the one I'd enjoy the most. I keep forgetting that there's like items you have to get in this game that unlock the ability to do the stages correctly, like this. Yeah, I figured this had to be happening soon, because I was like, how the fuck, like, are they gonna have a stage full of this and no ability to do it? Mew! That is one of the funnest mechanics in this game, for sure. Oh, no. Oh, cool. It let me go anyway. Alright, let's see if there's any more super chats. I think I answered that fighting game question. We got a few. It's Storm with 669. Doi Tashimashite. How deep have you gotten into spreadsheets? I'm learning VBA now to do macros, and I feel like an Excel god. I don't even know what you're talking about. So, I mean, I know what Excel is, but I've never gotten into spreadsheets, you know, in the way that I think you mean, of like, you know, like, I don't know. The only spreadsheets I have are just things I opened up Google spreadsheets and just threw a thing together, you know. I tend to enter everything manually. I don't really have any kind of efficiency standards. I just zone. I get into the list zone, and it's all I do for a couple days. Like, I've called myself a where lister before, because like every month or so, there tends to be something like gets into my head where I feel compelled to make a list of something. I'll give you the latest one I did. Is a list of ninja anime. You know, this is like a potential research project, but it's something I'll probably just be doing in the background until I've seen enough of these shows. But I just wanted to discover like the lineage of ninja anime, and I basically discovered that there's like 4 paths through ninja anime. And the hold on, I'll bring up my fucking document. Well, this isn't going to show up on screen, but whatever. So you've got the first type of ninja anime is the grimly heroic action epic. So you've got that started in 1959 with Sasuke, the young Sarutobi, which is Sarutobi Sasuke is like a classical character that was popularized in the 1910s. Then you've got Shonen Ninja Kaze no Fujimaru, which was based on a manga by Sanpei Shirato, and that guy created a bunch of these like edgy ninja epics that all have like communist undertones that were like really big in the late 60s, and that is sort of the lineage that led up to the Dagger of Kamui movie in 1985, and like, beyond that, like there's just like a lot of anime that have kind of, like the idea of anime ninja, I think, borrows very heavily from that whole lineage. So that's the grimly heroic action epic. You've also got stuff like the Ninja Scroll TV series, which is not very good, but kind of falls in its category. Basilisk, is presented this way. So then we have the lighthearted ninja action comedies. And this started with manga Sarutobi Sasuke in 1979. And then we had this show called Ninja Hattori-kun in 81 that went for 694 episodes. It was this huge long-running manga adaptation. And I have to kind of assume that it was like that ending or like, waning in popularity that led to stuff kind of trying to replace it. And that's how we ended up with like Ganbare Goemon and Jubei-chan the Ninja Girl and Ninja Nonsense and all this stuff from like the 90s and 2000s. This is just like my supposition based on like just seeing what came out when. But yeah, we've continued to have these kind of colorful, lighthearted ninja action comedies. Then we have what I call the contemporary teen ninja action show. So we had a couple of things like this in the late 80s and early 90s, but really like the Flame of Rekka from 97 is the first, like, this is a high school ninjas shonen action manga, and then Naruto came not long after that, and then we got Nabari no O and Black Fox later on, and that all kind of falls into that category. And then you've got the ninja horror, and this has its roots in the novelist Futaro Yamada, who was an Eroguro understudy of Edogawa Rampo, who wrote very famous ninja stories, the Koga Ninja Scrolls, which is what Basilisk is based off of, and also the books that Ninja Scroll is based off of. And so you had this like little surgence of Eroguro ninja stuff in, starting in 89 with Curse of the Undead Yoma, ending in 04 with Kage. And like, those are the 4 categories of ninja anime. That's it. There's not actually a shit ton of ninja anime. There's like less than 50. Way more samurai anime. Way more historical period dramas. But ninjas themselves, not actually as much of a focus as you might think. I think there might be more Western media based on ninjas than anime based on ninjas, which is pretty funny. But yeah, that's the latest list I've made. It's not really related, I guess, to spreadsheets. It wasn't even a spreadsheet that I was actually just looking at. It's just a bunch of raw data written into a notepad file. So, like, the list is, like, name of show, then year it came out, then, like, the names, like, 3 or 4 relevant names that I needed to know in order to keep track of it all. I didn't even bother making a spreadsheet out of it. So, yeah. That one, Lucario fan with $2. Thoughts on Nagatoro? Subsonic inspired my asking. Doi tashimashite. I think I watched... Oh yeah, I read some of that manga. So the impression I got from Nagatoro is that it is a deeply twisted manga. This is the Please Don't Bully Me one, right? I think. Because it feels like the idea is that this girl is like trying to make you have a violent reaction to her, and like that's the tease, is like, I bet you won't, like, I bet you won't do whatever the darkest fucking possible thing you could do to me that you must want to, because I am being the biggest bitch I possibly could, and like with a wink and a nod so I'm doing it. Like, it's yeah, it feels like it's meant to, inspire, like, Guro drawings or something. And that was just the impression I got from it. And I only read the first volume, so it was, like, I got the impression that the early story was particularly fetishistic, and that, you know, it might become a little bit more romantic as Nagatoro herself softens up and kind of has to, you know, face her own feelings, because she is just kind of being insecure and, like, you know, she's projecting this whole attitude because she doesn't want to admit that she likes the guy. And that's cute in its own way, but it's just that, again, the tension of it is so fetishistically heightened. It feels like you're reading a hentai manga in spite of how little, like, actual fan service there is. So, yeah, it's some twisted shit. It's truly, I understand why it is the face of the incel movement on Twitter, because it makes perfect sense that's who would get the most out of that. It's a manga for people who like are really obsessed with women and also really hate them, I think, or something like that. M with 30 shekels. Sup? Thanks for Doitashimashite. Sup? Thanks for giving me an excuse to watch Eureka 7, although I'm now tempted to watch the sequel movies and show, but I've heard they're horrible. Have you seen any of them? I haven't, for the same exact reason. I have heard they are all horrible. I was shown Eureka 7 by one of my best friends back in 2008 or 9. I think it was 2008. And I think Pocket Full of Rainbows already existed at the time, and he was just like, it's not worth it. It's like it's just weird, and like it's basically a retelling, but like I don't know. I will be watching all of these things when my Eureka 7 anime alphabet video hits 50,000 views. So you will be invited to take that journey with me. Because, you know, that's the way that series works. Any video that hits 50k, I cover all the sequels pretty much. None of them have hit 50k yet. The closest is Attack Number 1 is at 30k. And with that series, I plan to cover Attacker U, which was a manga like heavily inspired by Attack Number 1 that ended up being more popular in the 80s. So, you know, that will maybe end up being the first sequel video, although Cardcaptor Sakura is close to 25k, and at 25k for that video, I'm going to do ranking all of the outfits in the show. So that's probably going to be the first actual Anime Alphabet sequel video to get made, since it has such a lower view count target, and I think it's at 22 or 23k already, so it's getting close. It's gonna happen soon. But I forgot what I was actually answering. Eureka 7, right. Yeah, so I haven't seen any of the side stuff. I will for the series eventually, but I have heard it's terrible. And I remember Victor saw the newer movies, at least the first one. I don't remember if he said anything about the second or any of the others, if he's seen them. I just know he said the first one was terrible and confusing and just like a complete mess, so... yeah, I am not looking forward to it. And I heard that the sequel show, Eureka 7 AO, was also terrible and a complete mess. I remember towards the end of Ghost Lightning's blog, he had another writer on there whose name is slipping my mind, but he did like episodic coverage on that blog of Eureka 7 AO. So, oh no, I wanted that Chao Garden key. Take me back to my homeland. No! Okay, I'm still alive. I didn't realize how, like, actually vertical these shafts were. It's kind of impressive. Thank you. I really like verticality in games. I think more games need to get more vertical. Like, my biggest complaint about Elden Ring is just simply that it's not as vertical as Sekiro. And that was, like, it's hard for me to say that I think Elden Ring is cooler than Sekiro when Sekiro is like the coolest game ever. Elden Ring might be the best game ever, but Sekiro is the coolest game ever. And I hope that whatever follows up Elden Ring will embrace that verticality. Maybe even Maybe even we'll get like an open world Sekiro. I mean, Sekiro was kind of open world, but like, you know, a more open world Sekiro. Just something that combines those two games in order to give me a more vertically epic environment is what I really want. This, you know, this game, as vertical as it gets, you feel like you're in a disconnected fucking nonsense space, so it doesn't quite have the sense of you know, of scale that the, oh god, nope, I could have hit that. Robert Sora with €2 says, "Doi tashimashite" means you're welcome. Eureka 7 sequels are shit. Yep, that's what everybody says. So I mean, I kind of am looking forward to seeing them at this point, because now that I've seen Eureka 7 so many times, and I'm, you know, this video I'm making on it is going to be pretty much like as much as I can see myself having to say about the show proper, probably. Like, I feel like I've got a good grasp on it. So, you know, I'm ready to talk about Eureka 7, and as such, once I have talked about it, I will finally, I think, feel emotionally ready to take on all the sequels and, you know, give them the whatever they deserve. Whether they deserve a thrashing or if they're not as bad as people say, I'll find out. Go! Kid Paddle with Canadian $10. Doi tashimashite. Hi Trixie, loving the recent content. Can you rant about the Kusomega art? Absolutely. There is a lot of art that I had commissioned for the Kusomega light novel that has not yet been completed. So so most of that art has not been seen by very many people, with the exception of the few things I've put into videos promoting it. But yeah, basically, I want to say there's like 30 or so pieces. Like, there's a couple of people who I had do comics. So I storyboarded a bunch of comics, a bunch of covers, like cover pages for Takuma's other light novels. So like there's a cover page for 18 Races of Beast Girl Are Lusting After My Cock, and emo retard had, like, there's a full page out of that. I realized that I just said I will never say that word, but it's in my book heavily. It's a very edgy book. What can I say? You know, the author learned some lessons along the way that might cause him not to write a book like that by the time he gets, you know, by the time he's done with the story. But yeah, it's it's in there anyway. So yeah, there's like full pages. There's a couple of actually pornographic comics in there as well. And yeah, it was all for the physical release, which has I haven't put together yet because it's hard. And I'm still working on finishing up volume 3 of the actual story itself. But I'm very happy with the artwork that I got, and you know, I'm excited for when everybody gets to see all of it. There's also just so much cool Kusomega fan art. Most of the people I hired to do art for the book were people who, actually everyone I hired rather, was somebody who had already done fan art for it. So like the idea was, I didn't want to be commissioning people who didn't understand the story or weren't already implicitly interested in it, you know, in like being a part of it. So basically, if you go to the Kusomega website, kusomega.com, there's a fan art section. I think it's, none of the tweets will actually load in for you right now because I put in so many that they're all broken. But I might have to like segment it into multiple pages or something just to make it accessible again. But yeah, like anything that I really liked the art style of and thought it would be good for like certain scenes, I contacted those people and was like, hey, would you be interested in any of these moments, you know? And like basically like just released a list of all the scenes I needed, and like there's like 10 or so that are just like interpreting scenes from the book directly. And then, like, you know, again, the comics I storyboarded, the other entries, and then like cover pages and stuff like that. Oh, fuck yeah, it's Pumpkin Hill. Let it get to me. I'm just gonna creep down a Pumpkin Hill. God damn it, I got cut off by the cutscene. I'm your deity with Canadian $2. Doi Tashimashite. Seiso Sui Dansha Bully Steel Chapters. Bully Steel Eggplant. 5 I have no idea what you are communicating. I'm gonna Google this. Seiso Tsui Dansha. Akuma.moe. My browser is being checked to make sure. This looks like some hardcore pornography. I'm seeing. The thing I clicked on led me straight to hardcore pornography of a girl riding on a disconnected penis-like object. Bully Steel Eggplant. Oh, okay, I see. It's a manga. It's a pornographic manga about bullies stealing someone's dick and then using it. That explains what I just saw. So yeah, cool. If anybody's interested in that, go check it out. It looked really well drawn, so easy recommendation. Pastel Funk with $5. Hi, Trixie. Just wanted to buy you a nice tall gallon of gas. Doi tashimashite. I try not to remind people of this because it's terrifying and it makes us all feel bad. But YouTube does take 1/3 of all the super chat revenue, so it's not quite enough for a gallon of gas in America. No, it might be enough. I actually don't think. I don't know. I don't know what gas prices are at this very moment. They fluctuate constantly, but it's been abysmal. Now, thankfully, I don't have a car, and Bird drives a Prius, so the gas crisis is probably hitting us the least out of anybody. But it's still not great. It still costs twice as much to fill the stupid Prius as it used to. Give me Emeraldo. Stop telling me to relax, Knuckles. This is gaslighting. Can I dig in? I can't. Is it on this thing? No. It's... Come on. Where the hell is the fucking emerald? Is it really this particular? Like, am I fucking up, or is it this obnoxious? Could it be in the skull somehow? Can I break that? No. I don't remember it ever being this fucking obnoxious to try to dig one of these. This can't be right. Maybe it's... Okay, it's still red over here. But not up here. Oh, okay. It was just like there. And I got hit by a train. Okay. Love the Knuckles levels. Just gotta listen to the music. Just gotta fixate on the music. Oh man. Let's see what the TV has to say. A scarecrow protecting a container. Okay. I'm mad that that TV was set up in such a way that as soon as you read it, you get shot. I ain't gonna let it get to me. I'm just gonna creep down a Pumpkin Hill. I got to find my lost feet. So I know that it's here. I sense it in my feet. The great emerald's power allows me to feel. I can't see a thing, but it's around somewhere. I gotta hold my head, cause I have no fear. It probably seems crazy, a graveyard eerie. A ghost tried to approach me, he got leery. Ask him a question and he vanished in a second. I'm walking through valleys, crying pumpkin in the alley. He didn't seem happy, but the show tried to get me. Had to back him up with the fist metal crackle. Hearing someone saying, you were chicken only scared. Had to be the wind, cause nobody was wasn't there. I searched and I searched as I climbed up the wall, and then I started to fly. I went in deeper. Let it get to me. I'm just gonna creep down a pumpkin hill. I got to find my lost things. I know that it's here. I sense it in my feet. Great Emerald's power allows me to feel. Can't see a thing, but it's around somewhere. Gotta hold my head, cause I have no fear. It probably seems crazy, a graveyard eerie. A ghost try to approach me and got leery. Yeah. Knuckles fears none. Now I'm just listening to that fucking beat ride. This song is good. This song is unironically good. It looks familiar. It looks like where this fucking emerald is supposed to be. But it's just sitting there. Not Pumpkin Hill? Is there separately a Pumpkin Hill from Pumpkin Mountain? Well, didn't reach that. Can't see a thing, but it's around somewhere. Ooh, green. Oh, man. This game is mostly Knuckles levels. Because of how long they take. Knuckles and Rouge levels. When you get to the space levels, Jesus Christ, shit gets ridiculous. I just remember as a kid, it would always be like, you finish a Sonic level and the time at the end is like 2 minutes. And then you finish a Knuckles level and it's like 30 minutes. I legitimately have no fucking idea where this last emerald is. I don't remember where the green signal was when I saw it. It was like when I was in midair, if I remember correctly. Alright, Pastel Funk with $5 says, oops, here's another $5 to actually cover a gallon. Did you watch the newest Sonic movie, and is Knuckles sexy? I have not seen either of the live action Sonic films, though I do highly suggest, if you want to hear enthusiastic discussion of those films, that you watch Vic and Hope. Vic and Hope saw them. Vic pseudo-ironically loves them. And I know he was greatly looking forward to Sonic 2. I don't know if they've actually put out a review of it yet. I don't think they have. I don't remember hearing him give an in-depth opinion. I just know he's seen it. So I expect that on the Vic and Hope channel there will be a Sonic 2 review before very long. But yeah, I haven't seen them. Is Knuckles sexy in general? I think in this game Knuckles is kind of sexy. He's like, Knuckles can be sexy when he has a cool personality. Not so much when he's acting like a dipshit, which I've heard is what it's like in the new movie. He's a little closer to the Sonic Boom Knuckles. You know, in this game, he's just a hard ass. Like, he's just like, I need my fucking emeralds, and everybody's in my way. So, you know, he comes off as kind of a cool dude. I mean, with Knuckles in this game, the music characterizes him significantly more than his dialogue by filling in like all kinds of details about what he's thinking and feeling literally as he does the level you're playing, which I love. I think it is the only reason these levels are playable at all, is that the music is so damn good. Granted, I am currently fucking furious because I can't find this third emerald at all. I see no indications on my radar that I'm even close, no matter where I go. So this level is kind of a heinous fucking nightmare right now. I don't remember where. I should probably be reading the TV screens because I'm pretty sure they are direct hints. I thought I turned off the stupid ghost train. Maybe I just changed where it goes. Have no fear. Probably seems crazy. Seems crazy to be still playing this stage. Here's a TV. Let's ask the TV what's going on. The Ghost Face Mountain. The Ghost Face Killer! The right eye of the mountain shaped like a pumpkin ghost. Okay. Which pumpkin, which mountain is the one shaped like a pumpkin ghost? This one? Any of these ones? Is that the right one? These aren't mountains, though. Or are they? I can't even break open these boxes yet. Oh, damn it. Ah, here we go. It's this fucking island. Oh boy, that was exhausting. Apparently that was only 9 minutes. That felt like 7 lifetimes because that song is only like a minute long, so yeah. Alright, we have another $5 super chat from Kira Lu, which is this sticker of like a guy kind of looks like a pear and he drops a mic. Mic drop. Doi tashimashite. I'm your deity with Canadian $2. Doi tashimashite. Remember in 2010, bacon was a huge internet meme. I do. And I was, I want to say, initially kind of about it. Because I, had that moment in like 2004 when I suddenly realized I love bacon. Like something I hadn't particularly cared for up until that point. No! No, drown. Stop petting him and pick him the... Why is punch an option? Look at the way it's like, just like dangling him by his head. That doesn't seem very safe, honestly. Alright. Yo. Oh, he says, now there, now there, now there, now there, now there, now there. Alright. Will you put this fucking egg on your head now? Are you ready for such a thing? Looks like no. Alright, we gotta go get our other kid out of the daycare. He's gotta be done learning stuff. Oh, right, I'm still in story mode. That's why I keep getting sent away from the Chao Garden, my only home in this world. Mission Street. I guess... No, I don't want to do... I have all 3 of the heroes. I don't need to play this route anymore. Bring me to my chows! I guess I can't play Tails, because I never got a Chao key with Tails. Right, of course. I think the Chao key in that level, either I just missed it because I'm an idiot, or it was something I couldn't get to because I didn't have the boost yet. That seems less likely, though. It seems more like I just missed it because I was an idiot. Was I still answering a question? 2010 bacon, yeah. I discovered bacon was great. And then it started being like a thing people said, and I was like, yeah, bacon's cool, but like, I very quickly became disillusioned because bacon is not good on everything, actually. Actually, bacon ruins lots of stuff. It's got a very intense flavor, it's very greasy, and I don't particularly like bacon in macaroni, so that was probably like the thing that really killed it for me, was like realizing bacon bits could not improve macaroni for me. Is like, oh, well, I don't know if I like bacon even as much as macaroni, so yeah, I would say I was pretty quickly over the bacon trend when it became a big thing, and I was like, bacon's good, but let's not get ridiculous. Like, it doesn't need to invade every other type of food, Let's see about making Scully Face Man have a Scully Face body. He didn't get any traits. Okay. Well, I think we had more than one of those, right? Yeah, come over here. I want to make my Chao Skelly Man, not you. Oh, it just got rid of his arms. It didn't give him anything. It just got rid of what he had. Well, let's give him back his arms. Or legs. Alright, now he's a Mega Cheetah. Let's just go all the way. Let's just keep giving him cheetahs. Yeah. He'll be our running Chow. You know, he might be ready for competition running. I'm surprised this Chao hasn't already evolved into a hero Chao yet. But I don't know how long it actually takes. I think I've petted as much as necessary because it doesn't look like it's changing, I don't think. Maybe it got a little bluer? I don't think so. Alright, let's go subject these things to competition. Butthole Weeb with $2. Doi Tashimashite. I need more dad milk in me, senpai. Uwu. That's weird. Why do you want dad milk in you? Ugh. Kira Lu with $5. Doi Tashimashite. If we want to draw you fan art, what most would you like drawn? I mean, if you like my stories, fan art of my stories is always really cool. It's always interesting to see what characters stick with people. If you like to draw fan art of me, you know, if you draw fan art of anything I've done, I will always retweet it on Twitter and be excited to see it, because it's very gratifying to know that I'm having that much of an effect on people, that it inspires them to want to create something, you know, even if it's like literally as simple as like, oh, I was listening to your video and I decided to draw you, you know, but like it means that there is something aesthetically unique about, you know, about me or the way I present myself that could be captured in another medium. And, you know, like the Digibro character had a lot of art, and it was really interesting to see like the way that people interpreted the character artistically, but it was such a strong identity that like I felt like people did a really good job in general of like, you know, capturing the essence of the character. And there hasn't been as much art of Trixie the Golden Witch, I think, because the character isn't as completely understood yet, and that's fine. I'm in the process of, you know, making people understand what Trixie the Golden Witch is, and I think every video makes it a little clearer. So it'll be interesting to see if I eventually end up with as much Trixie fan art as there once was of my prior identities. All right, here we go. So this is mostly a swimming race. So I don't know how we're gonna do, because I was really trying to race this Chao because of his high run stat. And it looks like we're kind of struggling. I'm betting that Chao in the middle has like a 2 in swim. I don't want to use up all the stamina. Yeah, this isn't gonna go well. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. You're a runner, not a swimmer. Just maintain that 5th place if you can. Ooh. Oh no, I pushed it too far. We're donezo. We're donezo. Can I pull my Chao? Yeah, let's just pull him from the race. I don't want him to have to deal with the shame. Alright. Okay. There's got to be a foot race we can do here. This Chao has no swim either, so... I knew what I was getting into. I had realized that was a pool, but I just wanted to see how it would go. Let's try the mushroom forest. But yeah, I guess if I had to say what I would most want drawn, just to properly respond to that question, would be one of my characters from one of my stories, if any of them inspires you. What's my persona? Otter. Do I still have a pony sona? I'm going to develop a pony sona. We decided to start hyping this on the latest episode of the new Void Gazers podcast that's been recorded. It's not out yet, but it will be on, I think, Friday. And basically, I was like, I kind of want to talk about the new My Little Pony show, because Generation 5 has begun, is underway. And there was a movie that kicked it off, which I watched on Netflix, and I actually really enjoyed it. So, you know, I'd be interested in talking about that movie and potentially checking out. Oh, I didn't realize how short that was going to be. I would have pushed a little harder. Didn't place. Damn. All right, we're going to do that again. I didn't also realize that everybody else is going to be running while my Chao is still crawling. So I guess my Chaos are just really young, especially this one who has spent most of his time in kindergarten. And I don't think they age when they're in kindergarten. I think they only age when they're, like, live in the garden. But they're both classified as child, so... Alright, we'll hold off on doing more of that for now. I think we need to level up a little bit more. Get our stats boosted. Boom, ba, boom, boom, ba, boom, boom. What I really need to do is go to the black market and get them some of those square fruits that they both want so much. Anyway, what I was saying is that because I wanted to cover those My Little Pony, the new movie and the new season, I'm gonna have Mint Salad create a Trixie Pony Sona for the sake of that. So eventually, that will definitely happen because it's too good of an idea not to, and I want it. Let's buy some square fruit. All right. And then, do they not have any square seeds? Because that would be even more helpful. A white egg. I don't have enough rings. I wonder what you can sell here. Maybe I have to have an object in my hand to show up with or something. Do you know how to clone animals? I do not remember. I have heard of that. But, go ahead and explain if it's simple, or else I'll look into it later. Alright, let's give these chows some... These square fruits are fucking adorable. Hey, he likes it. Oh no, my other chow's drowning. I guess you're not hungry. I don't really want to make them both light chows, I don't think. Especially because this one's got the dark chow face. I don't know if they... Like, I don't know if dark chows will always have a face like that once they have been transformed, or if they only have that face if they have that face from birth, but, like... Obviously, it would look really adorable to have a dark chow with this face, so... We're gonna have to go to the dark route, and we're gonna have to bring some darkness into their lives. Let's go ahead and put you back in kindergarten. What story of mine am I currently most excited about? Pretty excited about a lot of the ones that I have, like, you know, that no one has seen any of yet, you know? So, like, I don't want to get overly detailed in describing stories I'm working on before they come out. I don't want to spoil anything. There's one I started on recently that is a isekai horror. I won't spoil what the actual concept of it is, but I recently started writing a isekai horror novel that is meant to be a one-shot that I think will be pretty fun. I like it conceptually a whole lot. And then the book I'm working on called Good People is about podcasters going on a hiking trip in the Ozarks. And that one... What I've written of it so far is my favorite stuff that I have written, But there's a lot more to be written of it. He did it! He put it on his head! Yes! Yes! Oh my god. Alright. We're gonna go dark mode now so we can make that Chao dark. There's a sweet spot where if you place down an animal close but not right next to a Chao, it uses the animal, but the animal can be reused. I see. Interesting. Are you writing stories? Yes, like I was just saying, but I'm writing stories all the time. I very much write bits and pieces of stories here and there and bounce between different narratives depending on, you know, which one I have like ideas for at that moment. I really should have some kind of job as like a pitcher, like a pilot pitcher, because I have ideas for like concepts for shows and stories almost constantly. Like I can give you the layout of a story. It's just the actual plot that I struggle with. Like figuring out why we get from point A to point B tends to be like, you know, so like I usually pretty quickly I'm like, all right, I know exactly broad strokes what's going to happen in this story, but then I have to sort of, you know, figure out all the stuff that's going to be in between those broad strokes to justify it, or like what are the characters going to actually say and do that leads us there. And so like my stories tend to be very thematically driven and very fast paced, because I'm like always just kind of trying to get to the point like of whatever I think is interesting about it that I've already figured out. But yeah, so like I've written tons and tons of first chapters or first couple chapters of stories and then been like, I don't really know where to, like, I know how this is going to end, but I don't really know where to go in the middle, or like what would make this scene play out in a fun way, you know. Particularly with the I'm gonna actually reveal a little bit about Good People just because it might help for people to help me come up with ideas. So one of the main characters in this book, the two main characters are a couple of podcasters, two girls who have a podcast together in their mid-20s that's pretty successful. They run lots of ads for chicken nuggets, and they one of them has a brother who is like internet famous, more so than she is, but always involved in scandals. And I want them to be like a Jeffree Star type character, like somewhere between Jeffree Star and Lil Nas X is what I'm going for. The character's name is Romeo, and he's like a gay drama queen, like, you know, maybe fashion YouTuber. Definitely gonna have like cool fashion, whether that's like the focus of their career or not. But I haven't figured out like what exactly they do or what the controversy is. But the scene at chapter 3 is meant to open with the main girl, or one of the main girls, coming home to get her mom ready for the camping trip, because they're bringing her mom along with them. And the mom is currently in a hot debate with the brother over the internet controversy he's currently embroiled in, and he's being defensive and like acting, you know, like he's in the right and everything. And all of this is happening in the house that he bought for his mom, like with this internet money. So this guy's got lots and lots of money, and, you know, he's taking care of his family, but the mom's like, why are you constantly, you know, like getting yourself into these ridiculous scenarios? Almost a Kanye West kind of, you know, figure, but on a smaller scale. So I just need to figure out, what is the drama? What is the controversy? What did this person do that got them in trouble that they're arguing with their mom about? Because it can't be too hateable. Part of the idea of this book is it's called Good People because everyone in it is kind of a good person. So I don't want this to be like, you know, something that makes you go like, oh, this guy's a real asshole and I hate him now. But something that would piss off enough people that, you know, that he would be hiding out basically at home at his mama's house and crying about it, and arguing about why he's right. So that's what I'm stumped on in that book. Domi Cats with $2. Do you like yeet? I mean, like, you didn't spell it like yeet, like Y-E-E-T, like throwing something. So now I'm, okay, let's see what Y-E-A-T, yeet. Yeet. An American rapper, songwriter, and record producer. I've never heard of him. If this is who you're talking about, I don't know him. So unfortunately, I can't say that I like Yeet, but only because I don't know Yeet. If he's worth investigating, let me know. And doi tashimashite for the donation. How do I launch this fucking missile? Oh. I guess that's how I launch that fucking missile. Or I activate the game to inform me of the need to launch that fucking missile. Whoa, use the boost to get through. Okay, well, I couldn't even get a Chao key in that. Oh, there was one right behind the fucking end of the stage. That is brutal. Because the one earlier in the stage I couldn't get to because you had to have the flight booster, which I don't have yet. But there was one right at the end of the stage. Cruelty. Trixie, dude, you are playing Ava right now. Yeah, it does kind of feel like I'm playing Ava, doesn't it? Kanye 2020 says, Trixie referenced Kanye. OMG. You can hear a lot of me talking about Kanye if you go over to the ASE Presents channel. That's ASE Presents, where you'll find the new Void Gazers podcast. The first episode of it was entirely about the most recent Kanye West drama, or Ye drama, I should say, rather. I always forget that I'm meant to be, you know, he did legally change his name to Ye. So, yeah, we talked about the Ye drama, and, you know, I've also reviewed a lot of his albums and stuff. If you check out the What You're Reviewing channel, you'll find my Donda review. Still haven't reviewed Donda 2 yet. Been meaning to. Alright, enough of this fucking cutscene. I don't care. It's Shadow the Hedgehog. That's the drama. I'm unlocking Shadow. Oh, I am Shadow. Amazeballs. Nope. Well. Your Berserk video made me finally start reading it. Is it messed up or what? I mean, that's kind of my goal, is to kind of contextualize, like, because I think people hear about Berserk being like super grimdark and like it's a problem or like it's going to be a struggle to get through, and I'm like, no, it's kind of the fucking point. Like, it is supposed to be really aggressively sexually violent and horrible because that's what's interesting. Like, that's what it's talking about, you know? So, like, I feel like there's a lot of people who are just kind of expecting it to be some kind of, I don't know, cool action fantasy epic, which it is also that, but like, you know, it's not about the fights, it's about the themes, and the themes are best represented in the really fucked stuff that goes on. True Fox 1 with $10 says, should art be moral? Wisecrack made a video on this. It would be cool to see you cover this topic in depth. I'm going to say that I don't think art should be moral. I think that people should be moral in their consumption of art and in their regarding of art. And, you know, I think art should just be what it is, or rather it's going to be what it is. And people shouldn't try to worry themselves about, you know, what they're doing and whether or not it's moral. They should worry about the fact that, like, society could create something such as them and their work, you know, like, I know there's people who think it's goofy to like blame blame the world for the individual messed up thoughts of a person, but the only way those thoughts get created is by the world. So, to me, like, it's important that artists say whatever they have to say, and then we study it and we internalize it healthily and we have conversations about it. I don't think it should be on the artist to try to figure out if their art is moral. Like, that's it should probably follow their own morality, and it probably will. Like, I don't know. I don't think people should necessarily like write something that makes them feel disgusted with themselves just for the sake of it. But like, I'm writing a horror story right now that has some really like dark and fucked up stuff happens in it, and I'm trying to write it in a way that gives the right impression to the audience about my intentions of like what the story is trying to say by presenting those very dark things that happen. So like, I hope that when people read my story, they will not think, oh, this is meant to be, I don't know, like, fun or gratifying that like these things happen. Like, I'm trying to make sure I present it in a way that conveys exactly the emotional state of how you're meant to feel about those things, but I know that there will be different interpretations, and ultimately it's going to be a conversation about how well I succeeded at whatever I was setting out to do, whether my story is in fact interesting or not. And again, I'm only trying to make it so that I feel comfortable with the story and I feel like I said what I was trying to say, and I know I can defend it. And not even that I think it like needs to be defended. If it turns out like, if say I agree with people's criticisms of it in the end, then I'll be like, okay, yeah, I see how I could have done that better. But like, that's for me to find out afterwards. It's not for me to be like, uh-oh, will people be offended if I show this happen? It's like, well, I want them to be offended, so like that this happened. So some level of moral offensiveness is necessary to make the story communicate the point, but there's always going to be evil people reading your story who want to be like the evil people in the story too. So, like, I don't think that like The Wolf of Wall Street is an immoral movie. I think that there are immoral takes to have on the movie. I think that I think the movie does a great job of presenting why no one other than that person lived that life. And it's not because we didn't realize we could. It's because it seems wrong and bad, even by the way it's presented in this film. And like, the kinds of people who don't get that out of the movies like that are the kinds of people who aren't getting that out of reality in the first place. That, that there's like a need to be moral in their lives or whatever. Give me that. Yeah. Just one left. Not here. I'm really digging the style of this whole stage. Rouge levels have really cool aesthetics. I also like how the beeping is kind of timed in with the music a little bit. Sounds kind of good instead of awful like usual when you hear beeping. On top of a palm tree. Didn't I already get the one? I guess. Is there a special dismount I can do? Damn it. Alright, we'll just fly over. Do-do-do-do-do. God damn it. How the fuck do I get this fucking thing? It's like above my range. It seems like it should be from climbing this tree, but I keep falling off the tree. I can't tell what the limit of the tree is. Okay, that time it did like a special mounting animation. I'm sure that's what it was meant to do the whole time. Oh boy. Video games. That one Lucario fan with $4.99. Doi Tashimashite. Fun stream. By the way, have you heard of The Bad Guys? It has stylish CG that reminds me of Spider-Verse. I ended my theater hiatus to see it and had fun. I have not heard of that. I will look it up right now. The Bad Guys. Because Spider-Verse was the coolest shit I've like ever seen. This looks cute. This looks like a American cartoon version of the recent anime. God damn it, The Great Pretender. I assume this is along those kinds of lines. Just going by how the main characters look. I haven't seen this. I probably would. Probably not in theaters, but as soon as it hits Netflix, you know, Bird and I tend to watch a lot of the. I missed out on most of the CGI animated features because they were a little after my time. You know, I had the period of childhood where I was deeply into animation or animated features. And then right around when CG took off was when I got into anime. And so it was like, you know, everything coming out of theaters just looked like baby shit to me compared to, you know, what I was watching from anime. But a lot of those movies are not bad. You know, a lot of them were marketed more obnoxiously than the movies actually are. So I've sort of, you know, caught up on all that, all those movies that Bird grew up with, by watching them with him. But, yeah, so I could definitely see the two of us watching that movie because it looks cool. It has good character designs. True Fox 1 for $5 says, how would one go about consuming art immorally? Doi tashimashite. I feel like I kind of went over this a little bit talking about the you know, Wolf of Wall Street, but like, I think, you know, there are people who will use art as a justification for them to, you know, continue their own bad actions. I would even say probably the most common thing of this is comedians. That, like, if we can make something, if we can make a funny, pithy way to dismiss an idea, then it will be endlessly repeated by people who want to dismiss that idea, as though the fact that there's a funny thing you can say about it thereby, like, you know, makes the, like, you know, negates the whole concept, if that makes sense. Like, I'm trying to think of a really good example. Well, a good one would be maybe the Rick and Morty scene about the R word. And there was a great interpretation of that in my comment section that was like, you know, it's completely correct. It's just that the conclusion Rick comes to is, well, that whole conversation is dumb. You know, he uses the word, of course. And, like, if you feel the same way Rick does, then you're going to come away from that like, oh, yeah, this was an anti-R slur moment. But actually, Rick is not the good guy in Rick and Morty. And, like, you know, Morty's argument is correct and reasonable. It's just that Rick doesn't think that people should feel the way that people feel. And, you know, regardless of thinking Rick is right, like, my conclusion is like, well, sure, but that's not an argument for why you shouldn't, like, that's not an argument for why you should continue to use the word. It's an argument for why people shouldn't be offended by the word, but it's not an argument for why you should continue to use the word, if you understand what I'm saying. So I think that's, like, a way of, not necessarily immoral, but, like, using art in order to reinforce behaviors that you know, that you want to continue to have, regardless of, like, how other people feel about it, you know, or whether it's, like, considered morally wrong by certain people. Alright, we have effectively darkened this Chao, and it's fucking adorable. He's got the egg. Roy G. Biv. her hips look ridiculous. Did y'all ever finish those fruits I gave you? No, you did not. Where is the other Chao? You drowning somewhere? Oh, right, I put him in kindergarten. Let's go get him out. Oh, wait, I forgot I'm on story mode. God damn it. In Love with the Ghost with $4.99 in euro. Doi Tashimashite. Ever thought about picking up a CRT? Watching 4x3 shows on it has become an addiction. I legit can't go back. I have, and I want one. I want a decent CRT. They're becoming harder to come by. I wish I had picked up some when they were like very common in thrift stores for dirt cheap. But yeah, I like using a CRT for watching stuff that's meant to be on it, especially for gaming, like, you know, classic gaming. There are certain games that I just, like, think you should not see in HD in a way. Like, Muramasa the Demon Blade is a great example of a Wii game that looks absolutely fucking gorgeous, but, like, it just comes off kind of muddy if you look at it on an HD screen, because it wasn't made for that. It was meant to have cathode rays blasting through it, and it looks ridiculous on a CRT. Another game that blew my mind when I saw it on CRT was Star Fox Assault on the GameCube, because the game is this just, like, super bright, arcadey, 60 FPS, you know, space shooter that, like, it just looks incredible on one of those TVs. It's so fucking bright and explosive. I'm sure this game probably looks better on a CRT as well, although this game looks pretty fine in HD, actually. I think it looks pretty good at this resolution and color. But yes, it's definitely something I've considered and looked into. I don't really have space for something like that right now, so it's not something I'm, like, you know, pursuing actively. But once I have my own place, I definitely want to have a CRT set up for playing older games. And I really do think, you know, everyone underestimates how much, like, effect the you know, the medium by which you consume things has, and how much things were, like, made for exactly, you know, the technology that existed, where, like, you know, there's just stuff the expectation of the stuff that was being made at the time was that it was going to be made on this technology, and so it's going to look best on that, you know. And it also just offers a unique aesthetic experience, you know? Alrighty. Oh, I got too impatient and greedy. Gunbuster on CRT, an absolute must-watch. That sounds right. That sounds like it would be lit. Yeah, I'm you know, I've got an image in my head of what a final form media cave would look like, and a CRT would definitely be involved. We had I'm sure Victor has, yeah, I think Victor has a CRT in, like, the upstairs of his room. That was the one that we did that we played Smash on, because when as I was talking about earlier, my friends had a period of being, like, addicted to Smash Melee, and you know, you can't play that on an HD TV. That would be ridiculous. Give me the Chao key. All right, Eggman is my favorite person to take to the Chao Garden, because he's Dr. fucking Eggman, and he pets the heads of cute little chows and goes, yosh. Yosh. It's the most grandpa-ass thing in the world, and yeah, it's adorable. I love it, and I want to go yosh on my chows. Yosh. So we gotta bring Eggman. Yosh. Do I like Danganronpa? I'm not very experienced with it, so not really. I've only seen, like, the first episode of the anime. Bird likes Danganronpa. I think he's played the games, but I know he's seen the anime. Danganronpa. Oh shit, there's lots of rings in here. I keep forgetting I need to also collect rings so I can buy shit at the store. I could have sworn there was like a more... I know I get like a powered up version of this stupid gun eventually. This is redonk. This is redonkulous. I can't even fucking hit these things. Okay. Dumb game. I keep freaking out about like not having the boosters. I'm so used to having them that like every time I hit the A button again and I don't boost, I'm just like, ah, the game is broken. Great game design. This is excellent. Okay. True Fox 1 with $5. In your last stream, you mentioned how you try not to associate yourself with fringe culture anymore. Can you get into more detail on why this is the case? I just think that it's a good way to get yourself banned and blocked from everything. And to, you know, like... If you are on the side of I'm going to do whatever I want and say whatever I want, you will always eventually lose everybody, because no two people on Earth feel the same way about how things should be. They just don't. There's not two people you can talk to who would be able to, you know, to survive without compromising something with each other, or else they're going to spend all their time by themselves, you know? And I think... You know, I used to think that there was more of a coalition of the people who reject all that, who are like, you know, no, you should be able to say whatever you want and all that kind of stuff. But there's really not. Like, everybody has a line somewhere, and when you cross it, you lose those people. And like, I've really seen this happen with Dick Masterson, where, you know, he's been very committed to being edgy, still has stuff he doesn't say, because even for him it's a bridge too far and a little too a little too, you know, dog whistly or whatever. But like, he, you know, he's lost tons of connections even within like the fringes, because those people don't like the aspects of fringe that he will support, where like, you know, he'll support free speech and have people who are on his side, and then as soon as he defends Lolly, those people are suddenly against him, you know? And it's just like, there's always going to be that line somewhere for people. And so, like, anybody with sense decides to try and compromise to whatever extent they need to be able to function in society to the extent that they so desire. And for me, for a long time, my only desire was to work with other people who felt that anything goes. You know, that like, oh, well, I'm just only going to work with people who think anything goes. And that's not a thing. That's not a type of person who thinks everything goes. Including me. I don't think everything goes, you know, and I learned that through interacting with people who did things I didn't like. And gradually I had to come to realize, like, oh, I can't work with people who are going to invite these troubles into my lives and into my life, and I can't work with people who are gonna cause me all sorts of problems and not not offer enough in exchange to make it worth it, you know. And like, I just think the number of opportunities you lose by being fringe and edgy far outweighs the gratification of, remaining true to a self that has no inherent value, and is questionable in, it's questionable to ever consider it moral to think of yourself as opposed to some greater good. Is it not? I don't know. I don't have the answers to these questions. Hey! Robert Sora with $2. Doi tashimashite. Why do you use doi tashimashite like that, though? Does it not mean you're welcome? I guess you're thinking I should be saying thank you rather than you're welcome. I should be saying arigato gozaimasu. But I'm thinking of it more as the thing that you say when someone just gave you, like when you're at the store, then you'll be like, you know, they'll be like arigato gozaimasu, doi tashimashite. So that's more the. I guess I should be saying both for it to make sense. I'm really trying to think about this. I guess what I'm going for is the vibe of thank you for shopping. So yeah, it should be like arigato gozaimasu, doi tashimashite. I'm Shadow! Can you believe Shadow only actually has 4 levels in this game? Sonic has 6. Everyone else has 5. Shadow has 4. Of all the characters they could have taken, I guess they were thinking, well, their levels are kind of, but all the levels are kind of the same. Just, they could have easily put one less Knuckles or Rouge level or Eggman level or anybody you wanted to play less than Shadow the Hedgehog. He's got all the cool metal songs in his stages. But they're like metal techno songs. I guess they're like industrial would be the proper term. Very bouncy industrial. Industrial for kids. This kind of sounds like a Maximum of the Hormone song, actually, when you really think about it. If you added in those spazzy vocals. I'm trying to think of what the name of the song that's in my head right now is. This kind of sounds like. Linkin Park. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little Linkin Park-esque. Linkin Park was a huge deal in Japan, and they would have been hitting it big right around this time, probably. Oh, no, Sonic Adventure would have predated Linkin Park, right? This came out in the 90s, I think, because it was originally on the Dreamcast. Maybe not Sonic Adventure 2, though. I'm not sure. Somebody give me release dates. I need Sonic Adventure 2 versus Hybrid Theory. Because to me, this sounds just like 90s, like this sounds more like Power Man 5000 than Linkin Park, and Power Man 5000 would have already been like well established by this point. So I would say it's probably more of like the early nu metal, the even pre Linkin Park shit that they would have been taking influence from. Maybe some Marilyn Manson. I could definitely see Shadow the Hedgehog screaming, "I'm not a slave to a god that doesn't exist!" Let's go. You cannot tell me you don't want Shadow's fucking shoes, though. Man's got rocket shoes. Like, is he even fast? Is Shadow the Hedgehog even actually fast? Or does he just have rocket shoes? That didn't work. Oh, this is a bouncy area where you can't die for no reason. Cool. Okay, it looks like Hybrid Theory did beat out the release of this game. Someone said I had no idea that Linkin Park had a big following in Japan. Absolutely. I mean, tons and tons of bands do, but Hybrid Theory is one of the top, like, 20 selling albums ever on planet Earth. A big part of that is, you know, the appeal worldwide, and particularly in Japan, because they were not only, you know, Mike Shinoda, half Japanese, I think, but they are like big Gundam fans and shit. So you had like the Linkin Park Gundam and all that, and like, you know, all the anime stuff in their music videos. So I'm sure a lot of that came after they were already successful in Japan, but like, you know, there was always this undercurrent of anime influence running through Linkin Park's artistic presentation, particularly of Gundam. Which is probably why they ended up doing all those Transformers soundtracks. Because when you think Linkin Park, you think Big Robot. And granted, there's plenty of mecha in this game too. Like the ones I'm fighting. They kind of look like they could be on the cover of Hybrid Theory, don't they? The guys with the guns. Hey, Chao. Bring me to the garden. Okay, so once we've got Shadow, I think we've got everybody. I don't know if I ever got Tails. But we'll have to do far less of this actual gameplay once we've got everybody in the Chao Garden. I feel like I've done multiple laps through this stage already. Hey, it's Knights. Got ring. It's also just like crazy to me how much more fun the stages are when you come back with all the power-ups. Like, it just feels so... It feels so slow and empty without being able to do the ring dashes. Okie dokie. We're coming up on 2.5 hours of live streaming, so I'm probably going to wrap this up before too very long. And we'll have another Chao stream some other time, but I you know, when I play Elden Ring on this show, I tend to have like no idea what's going on in the game. Like I get so focused on the chat, and I just kind of run around in circles and like just keep running and running and running and occasionally fighting stuff and taking out bosses. But I don't like the feeling I have of not really being sure what the hell I'm doing in the game, like while doing the live stream, just of like feeling like I'm somehow fucking up my save file or something, you know, like just feeling like I'm not keeping track of what I'm doing, and so therefore I'm not really getting the full experience of the game. You know, obviously I could just have a streaming character, but then I would never make progress because I just wouldn't ever be able to focus. So I was like, the Chao Garden seems like a place that you could be really mindless about the gameplay, and still understand what's happening and still be able to make progress, you know, while having conversations. And it's the ultimate nostalgia experience for me. When I talked about, I had this post I made where I was asking people to tell me stuff that they think I should cover other than anime. And most people just kind of said, cover things you're passionate about, which I was like, well, I can be passionate about anything, you know, when I want to write about it. But I got a few responses that specifically said, like, talk about games from your childhood, like more games from your childhood. I guess because people had enjoyed the Diddy Kong Racing video. And so I was like, well, if people want me to, like, show them the games I grew up with, this is the games I grew up with hardcore. It would be Sonic Adventure 2, Phantasy Star Online. Yeah, I really want to cover the N64 Bomberman games at some point. But yeah, like, if we're trying to nostalgia bond here, the most people I've met who I could relate to have had this game as a kid, as a childhood experience. Like a shocking number of people my age that I've befriended had experience with this game. So True Fox 1 with $10. Arigato doitashimashite. Have you seen the Inupara trailer? It would be cool to hear your thoughts. I have not. What is... Isn't that, I thought that was like that, dating sim game. Yeah. Isn't that what this is? Oh, this is like Nekopara, but it's Inupara. Okay, I see. I mean, these girls are cute. I can't really actually see myself playing one of these games because they seem insanely vapid from what little I've witnessed of them. And, like, the sexual content isn't really my type, I guess. The only, like, sexual visual novel I've ever played a significant amount of was Wanko to Kuraso, which is also a dog-girl themed game. But that one had a really interesting story. It was really weird and compelling, and it had decent characters beyond, the sexual element. And even then, I only played, like, I don't know, a third of the game and got bored. So I don't see myself playing something like an Inupara, but it's nice to know that they've finally expanded their franchise beyond cat girls to include, shocker, dog girls as well. It's really funny. I wonder how long, will we get to Tori Para next? Like, how far are we gonna take the Para IP? I have to imagine to space and beyond. All right, so we've got Shadow. We already have Rouge. I'm not doing this fucking Rouge stage. I'm mashing the start button, but I'm guessing it's loading in the background because it won't let me skip this cutscene. Oh no, I hate this stage. I'm not playing this stage. Kobold Knight with $2. Arigato doitashimashite. Would you ever do a Pokemon Smash or Pass video? Yes. I've actually just been waiting for someone to ask. Like, I don't think that's something you do unless someone asks you to. So now that you've asked, yeah. Me and Bird, maybe we'll do a live stream of it or something. Because I think it would be fun to get to have a second opinion and to be able to discuss it. Because all those Smash or Pass videos I've seen have been very, like, just yes, no, maybe, funny reaction. I want to get into the bones of it, Get into the bones of the boner. Of your Cubone boner. Your Cuboner. So yeah, we can do that. We can do that. Oh, wait. Alright, I'm probably gonna go and create this video on Harmful Park. If you've never heard of it, there's a shmup on the PS1, sort of a lost gem called Harmful Park, and it got an English translation patch just the other day. I downloaded it and I played it and I liked it. And so I'm gonna make a video about Harmful Park, and I'll probably do that right after the stream. But I just got another $5 from Anonymous. Arigato doitashimashite. Is there any piece of media that you would consider giving a perfect score? 10, i.e. 10 out of 10. If so, do you think it is objectively perfect or subjective? Always subjective, obviously. There's no such thing as objectively perfect. No one could calculate it. I don't know how they would even attempt. As for stuff I would give a perfect score of a 10, I mean, I pretty much give a 10 to whatever I just consider to be the best thing that exists. There's no, like, I can't imagine what a perfect thing is supposed to look like. Like, how could it be, like, it's not that so whatever the very best thing is, right? It's not that there couldn't be a way that it could be better, but that wouldn't make it more of a 10 out of 10. There's no way it could be perfect because you can always fix something. Like, there's always going to be something that could be changed, and you might think, oh, I've reached a point that it couldn't be altered, but then, like, I don't know, that's such a weird claim to even make, like, how subjective is that even? Trying to figure out if something's perfect, that just doesn't make any sense to me. But, giving something a 10 out of 10 to signify, like, this is the best that has been done. This is the best that we are capable of, like, whatever is the best thing is the best humanity is capable of. So that's a 10, you know, like, I'm not going to concern myself about hypothetical realities where different works of art somehow got created that, you know, that exceeded what already exists. But, like, you know, if you try to tell me that, like, Princess Mononoke is not a 10 out of 10, I'm going to give you a very strange look, you know. I'm going to be like, all right, spend the next 3 hours babbling like an idiot while I give you a death stare about how wrong you are. Go ahead, you know, like that's it's like there's certain stuff that would be really difficult to convince me that it wasn't a 10 out of 10 or wasn't deserving of that, even on like a colloquial level of like, yeah, everyone agrees this is a 10 out of 10. That doesn't mean it's true or objective, but like consensus wise, you like, again, you're gonna be the odd one out if you don't think this is the 10. Obviously, there's stuff I think is a 10 out of 10 that isn't consensus considered that way. But that's the closest thing you can get to being objective, in my opinion. So, yeah. All right. I think that's it. Let me make sure I didn't miss any super chats here before we dip out. Jukebox. Because I've skipped ones before and I felt bad. Doesn't look like it. I think I've read them all and responded to them all. So, yeah, alright. Some people think Princess Mononoke is too dragged out. I mean, you can make that argument. It doesn't make it not a 10 out of 10. It doesn't make it somehow worse than other movies, you know? Like, because then you'd have to prove to me how another movie was somehow better. Like, you know, how another movie somehow didn't have a comparable issue that would make it, you know, drag it below that. Anyway, later everybody. Goodbye. Thank you for coming out. Anime forever. See you.